in another conversation, you mentioned to me that there was a time in your life when you gained a lot of weight and reduced. If you can share with us what led to that weight gain and how did you overcome that challenge?
Yeah, I mean, after 96, I continued doing decathlon, and my dream was to compete in the next Olympics in 2000, which were in Sydney. And short before the qualification, I had a torn muscle. So, and I knew that was kind of the end of my sports career. And I was really frustrated about that because I kind of worked this 4 years only, just to qualify, to get to this event. And that's, I think, the hard part of an individual sport. If you get an injury, you're just out. There's not a team that supports you, or you have the time to let it heal and then do it all over again because you can't do that much. So that was really deeply frustrating. And I did a lot of mistakes in that time. So I decided to stop sports, but still eat the same amount of things. So, which was yummy. And most probably on top of that, I didn't look at the quality of the food. So it was more, you do all these things you try to avoid when you're professional. So you have your junk food, you have chips, you do all these kind of things which are just not smart. Yeah, and I gained almost 60 pounds.
Wow.
So 30 kilos in this period. And I didn't feel good. I noticed it when my children were still young, so we went to a children's doctor, and he put him on a scale, and the boy was 16 kilos or something like that, I don't know. And afterwards we went to a pharmacy, and there was a scale. I went on the scale, and it was just, it was horrible. And I thought, that's wrong, that can't be. So I put the child on again, and it was still 16, so I knew something has to happen. And then when, I tried to switch that, and that was just the next big mistake, because I was working in a hospital. I had 3 little boys at home, and I pushed my career on the medical side, and because I didn't want to have so much weight, I decided I will do intensive sports again. And I kind of started, I thought I can start where I stopped, which brought me, I think, to the only pneumonia I ever had in my life. So I overdid without preparing, kind of. And then, then I decided, okay, you have to do things differently. And I started to write down what amount of movement is good for me. I started to write down, what are you eating? I started to write down, what is your amount of sleep? I just, I just got kind of nerdy in my daily routines.
And just when was this? Which year?
That must have been most probably 2002, 2004, something like that, around about that time.
Before the era of apps and everything, so it was really...
Exactly.
It takes, discipline to do those things.
Yeah, but I was never kind of, we didn't have that smartphones these times where you can write it. No, I wrote down things. I believe in writing, I really do believe in handwriting. Also about sports, right? So in my career, I wrote down, just an example. I wrote down how I felt and how the movement was when I did, for example, shot put. And then the next year, shot put didn't work. So I took my book from the year before and was reading, what did you do to prepare to feel like that? I find that extremely helpful. Handwriting is always super good.
Wow. So did that lead you to write a book then?
No, the book was also really by accident, by chance, because I used to do speeches in companies, business companies, about decathlon, because I think it's the best example you can have also for companies, right? You have very, very different things. It's like sales and controlling, shot put and 100 meters dash for me is like sales and controllers. And you have all these conflicts. So how do you manage to get it all together? Yeah. So I held these speeches. Then I decided to bring in also examples of where I completely failed. What did I do wrong? Gaining weight, stress, the stress level with young family, all these kind of things. And I decided to bring that also to my talks.
Okay.
And there was a publisher listening to me, and he asked me, could you imagine doing a book out of that? That's how it happened. So I was lucky.
I guess that book is, what is the name of that book?
Entspannt gewinnt, which means to be relaxed will win. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But there is another very interesting book that you wrote, which is How to Stay Young Forever, which initially started our conversation in your office. Yeah. Can you tell us how you happened to write that book?
Well, the title of the book is ambitious, I have to say, right? Basically, what I want to say is that we all know a lot. If you inform yourself about health, you know about the benefits of sports, you know about the benefits of, to regulate your stress level, to have enough sleep, you know all these kind of things. But sometimes we need a book, a mentor, somebody who's pushing us in the right direction. And that, I think, if you have health-wise, if you're reflected health-wise, and you start to have a protocol for yourself, which fits you and no one else, you can do a lot of things in terms of anti-aging.
But how do people find that fit for themselves? Do you have any tips for them?
Well, get my book. No, it's that's in German language, which for an international audience is kind of difficult. No, first of all, it won't work if you don't work. It's something you have to do, and you really have to want, and you have to go through that journey, right? And then, second of all, don't stress yourself. So if you decide, I want to really do something, you get the information wherever. And if you think you can't get the information in books or online or whatever, you go to a gym or to a sports doctor or, wherever. You should always go to a doctor before starting sports, but you will find someone. And there are so many things you can do. It's not about all running or biking or, I'm not pole vaulting anymore. And I'm not stressing my body only if I want to. It should be fun.
But now the problem is not on the side of information scarcity. There is abundance of information, and everything and everyone says so many things. It becomes extremely hard to decide, okay, should I run or how should I approach this? So do you have any thoughts on that? How can people...
It's true. I mean, if you look online, you can go crazy, because there are also sometimes, especially in terms of diet, if you look, sometimes you're like, wow, that's really... No, go to your general doctor.
Oh, okay.
And let your heart check, and then ask friends, and go maybe to a professional gym, get a PT, book him for maybe 10 sessions or 5 or whatever you can afford, and then, or you want, and then tell him exactly what you want. What is your goal? In my age, or let's say over 35, around 40, no one needs to compete, I think. There is no need to be, to do it in high intensity. Why? You want to do it to feel good, to be
Yeah.
healthy. So go to someone, explain exactly what you want to achieve. I want to lose weight. I want to have a six-pack.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think the six-pack is just, as a matter of fact, comes with the sports. But the main goal shouldn't be the six-pack. The main goal should be, I want to be healthy and feel good.